What's up, guys? Another YouTube video. I told you guys I'm back home. We're gonna crank these out every single day. You guys showed a lot of love. You guys gave a lot of likes. You guys commented. I love it. Keep doing it in these videos, and I will keep posting them. These are for you guys only. I know this information. I gain nothing from this. This is all for you guys to learn and educate yourselves, so you guys can see what I see and be sharps like me. All right, so let's get straight into it. Let's look at these games. Let's see what game I really want to look at. Let's start with NBA. Because I really want to look at NBA today. All right, so when we go to NBA, a game we're going to look at is, let's do the Orlando San Antonio Spurs. So this is a game that I got personally at -4. So I got the Spurs early. So let's see why I took the Spurs, why I got the Spurs, why I got the, not the Spurs, the Magic, why I took the Magic at -4. So let's look. Let's go Magic. Let's see at what point we are ready to get them. So as you see, line open up at -5. Okay? So the goal is to buy at the lowest point. So I got the line at -5. And remember I told you guys, anything under 4, 4.5, anything under 5 is good value in NBA. Because at the end of the game, when teams have to shoot free throws, they're usually going to get over that number with fouls and things like that. So look, as you see, line open, Orlando -5, jumped down to 4.5, jumped down to 3.5. Stayed 3.5 for like a minute, jumped up to -4. That's when I grabbed it. I grabbed it immediately, and now it's at 5.5. So I got a 1.5 of value, and it's not even closing line yet. Okay, so to be honest, while you're watching this video, I do think this line goes even higher. Here's why. Look right here. This is just a spread. 74% of the bets with 89% of the money at the 5.5. I expect this line to go to -6. I actually expect it to go to -6.5. I see big line movement on that. Money line, no sharp money on the Spurs whatsoever. Okay, so let's go here. Let's look at the previous games. This is why I like it. This is why I like this play. I think this is a buy low spot for the Orlando. Orlando getting their players back healthy. As you see, they went to Dallas. They lost. Beat Phoenix. Actually destroyed Phoenix. It was closer than the score tells. Lost to Memphis. Horrible loss. Lost to Cleveland. They're rolling. Beat Miami. But look at the Spurs. How do you lose to Washington after beating Minnesota? Then you beat Portland. Then you lose to OKC. Then you lose to Philly. So I know the Spurs team is very bad. They're not good away. I understand that Orlando hasn't been good either. But this is a spot where I believe, when you look at the Spurs, you look at Wembanyama. And Wembanyama going up against, you got Wendell Carter, Franz Wagner, Pablo Banchero. I think Wembanyama has some problems this game. So you always go see if they played at all. They didn't play this year whatsoever. So I truthfully, I think the -4 is a good spot here. I think the -5.5 is still a good spot. I personally am not going to jump on the 5.5 because I already got the -4. But I do like this game. I do think the 5.5 is still good value. I think the line moves. So I 100% like that game. There's nothing really sharp-wise to show you. It's just basically how do you beat this team right here, and how you beat this team is stopping Wembanyama. And I think if anybody can stop him, it's Banchero, it's Franz Wagner, it's Wendell Carter. Like, look at this, guys. Look, right? Let me show you something. Let me show you why I'm saying that. Because look at these rebounds, okay? 5.6, 6.7, 8.6. Okay, guys, combined, that's like, we'll say 13. That's like 19. That's like 20 rebounds just off their starting 5. Granted, Wembanyama's averaging 10, but this is 20 rebounds off that. These guys can rebound. They play They basically play 3 power forward, 3 centers. I think it's a bad matchup for the Spurs. I love Orlando today by 15. Let's look at another game that I like, guys. Let's go to, what do I want to give you guys right now? Let's see if this is the game I want to give. Let's see if this is the game I want to give right here. No, it wasn't them. There's another game I got for you guys. Let's look at Baylor. Let's look at Baylor and UCF. And let's see why. Let me go on here. Here it is right here. No, it wasn't Baylor. Let's see the second game. Stay with me. Let's see another game I want to give you guys. I want to give you guys Western Carolina. Okay, so when you look at these small school games, a lot of you guys don't know about these schools. A lot of you guys don't understand, why it's important to bet these schools. The reason it's important to bet these schools is because the books aren't paying attention to it, so you might catch a good line. And to be honest with this Western Carolina, I think you're catching a good line. So, as you see, for the sake of, I do this with every game, guys. It doesn't matter what game it is. I go look at the spread. I see what it's at. It's at 4.5. Nobody's touching this game. There's barely any people touching this game. And how you know this is, let's go back. See right here? where it says percentage of, where it says how many bets, this says 1.3 bets, guys. Let's go up to all these other ones like 3.8, 5.8. Like, let's go here, 7.5. Nobody's betting this game. Nobody gives a dang about this game, but I do because I think there's excellent value. And here's why. Let's look at this Chattanooga team. So let's go Chattanooga basketball previous games. Okay, this is a perfect example. They beat a Citadel team. They beat a Wofford team. They beat an Eastern Tennessee team. And they beat a Mercer team. Now, let me tell you guys something real quick. Wofford's the only good school here. The rest of these schools are trash. Okay? Now, they are riding high. They did beat Furman. Furman's a good team. Beat them by 15 at home. Okay? UNC Greensboro lost. VMI. Samford, they lost away. Like, who has this team really beat away? Let's look. Like, this is what you guys need to do. They beat Louisville. Whoop-de-doo. Early in the season when Louisville was trash. They beat Louisville and Wofford. Okay? Now, when I look at that, it's telling me, like, okay, this team's okay, but they're nothing amazing. Remember, guys, this is a small school team. We're not talking about Alabama here. We're talking about Chattanooga. So let's go to Western Carolina. Let me show you something. Let me show you guys something. Look at this. Western Carolina lost it. Now, here's why this line is so small. This line would be way bigger anywhere else. So this line, let me see if they played it all. They haven't played this year. This line would be way bigger, but Western Carolina is cold right now. But in my opinion, they're not really cold. Look at this. They went in and beat a VMI team trash. Doesn't matter. They went in and lost to UNC Greensboro, who will be in the tournament this year. They lost to a Furman team, will be in the tournament this year. Okay? Lost to a Samford team, will be in the tournament this year. Those are 3 losses that you guys don't know nothing about these teams, but these teams can go in and beat the top D1 teams, and I promise you this. Okay? So that's why people are like, oh, Western Carolina is a bad play here. Western Carolina is a bad play here. I don't think it is. I think that this line is -4.5 for a reason. So you have a team that's coming off of all these losses, but look at this. They beat a Citadel team. They beat the same Wofford team. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat UNC Asheville. They beat McNeese State, who's really good. They beat Middle Tennessee, who's really good. This team is very, very good. Now let's go look at this. Western Carolina basketball player stats. Let's see how these players compare. And let's see Chattanooga basketball player stats. All right, let's look at Chattanooga. And what I like to look for is rebounding. I don't like to look at the numbers. Like when you look at a team and you say, hey, this team is rebounding, they're 10th in the nation in rebounding. Like I don't care about that because they could be playing like community colleges. It doesn't really matter to me. I like to more look at the stats so I can see what they do. So if you look right here, first off, Trey Bonham. Okay, so as you see, he's averaging 17 points a game. Let's see if he's playing. Chattanooga basketball previous games. And the reason I say this, guys, because as you see, he only has 12 games right here. Let's look to see if he played last game. Trey Bonham, he did, so he's in. So this is an extra guard they haven't had in a while. So Trey Bonham is it. Okay? So as you guys see right here, they have 4 guys in double figures. They only have 1 rebounder. He's averaging 9.3 a game in Sam Alexis. 1 rebound a game. So I'm looking at the rebounders. I only see 1 rebounder. You go to Western Carolina. You got 4 guys averaging that. And look. Their best player, Vontarius Woodbright, averaging 21 points a game and basically 13 rebounds. So you already got the big man presence and you got the guards around you. I do like Western Carolina -4.5 today. There's no line movement here. There's none of that. This is strictly just off of my play. Let me see if I can find one more for you guys that has good line movement. Let's look. And I'm looking over here. I'm looking to see how the lines haven't really moved today. The lines haven't moved. Let's see. Let me find a game. Where they moved for you guys. Okay, let me show you guys something. So for a game like this, now when I first saw this game, I was like, hey, why the hell am I not jumping on this? And then I did research, guys, and you'll see why. Okay? I didn't bet this game. I'm not going to bet this game because I believe Southern Miss would have won, but I don't know how they play with what I'm about to show you. So when you come here, you see everybody is on this team. Let's look at the records. Do you see Arkansas State, 8-13, smaller school, versus Southern Miss, who's 12-9? a respectable 12-9. Okay, versus Arkansas State's 8-13. You come to USM and you look and you're like, they beat Coastal Carolina, they beat Troy, they beat this Arkansas State team. So guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw this, I was like, you know what? They already beat this team. And here's what I saw. So here's what I saw. So I was like, look at this. They shot 35%. They shot 35% basically. They only made 7 threes. They made 14 threes, and yet they still lost by 3. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, it says a lot. It definitely says a lot. But I did this, and this is why I don't like the game. And this is why you guys need to do deep stats. Southern Miss basketball player stats. This is why you do. This is why you do the deep stats, guys. Okay, so you see their team right here. So I'm looking at their team. Victor Hart is a guy who's averaging 13 and 6. Andre Curbelo. See, and the reason that these guys stuck out is because they only have 16 and 6 games played. So let's go see. What team is this? Southern Miss basketball. Let's go see if they were in last game. So as you see, they got blown out by this team. So what were the guys' names again, guys? Let's get to it. Victor Hart. Let's see if Victor Hart played. Victor Hart did not play. Not only did Victor Hart not play, and it's kind of hard in college to get the injury reports compared to NBA. A lot of people don't know this unless you do the research. So let's look at Curbelo, which are 2 guys averaging double figures and almost 5 rebounds a game. Curbelo didn't play. So when you look at the Southern Miss team and you think, oh, this team, is very, very good, subtract those 2 guys, and you don't really have scoring or rebounding. Those are your leading rebounders and your third and fourth leading scorers. So that's why I stayed away from that game. That's why I didn't like that game. That's why you dive deep. Because if you just look at this, and if you just look at this and say that team still they beat them early in the year. Not only that, Southern Miss just looks better. Because look, they lost. Lost Tech State, lost Southern Miss, lost the teams that Southern Miss beat. Don't love it. Don't like it. But as you see, you dig and do your research, guys. It's part of being a sharp. Sometimes you got to do this research so you don't lose. It's not necessarily so you just find the best games to bet. It's also so you don't lose. I might have lost that because of if I would just bet with my original thoughts on that. There's a reason that this line is +5. Don't be confused. Don't get trapped. All right, guys. Share this, like it, comment. I appreciate it. I give free weeks to people that do that, especially on my YouTube. So let's get to it and let's make some money.